Namo Buddhassa. Welcome all to our weekly learning on Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. Today is our session number 77 and we are in Dhammānupassanā bojjhaṅgapabbaṃ. That is the 7 Enlightenment Factors section. And Bhante would be starting on Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ. Venerable Bhante Vimalabhamsa is our teacher, who is Samatha and Vipassana meditation teacher, Pali scholar, and Abhidhamma teacher. He is from Sri Lanka and belongs to Sri Kalyani Yogashrama Forest Monastery tradition. Bhante has been very compassionate to teach us Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta line by line, paragraph by paragraph, with the whole meaning, and also teaching us how to actually practice in it. If you are taking up the Kammatthana from Bhante, Bhante teaches you how to practice and move in the path towards Nibbana. We are grateful for Bhante's compassion. And with my folded hand, wanted to request that all who has not taken a Kammatthana yet from Bhante, please contact Bhante and take the Kammatthana and start walking towards the path on Nibbana. Bhante is absolutely dedicated to teaching and teaching the actual practice path as well as the theory to anyone who is willing to learn. Bhante, with my folded hand, I request you to please give us today's Dhamma Desana, Bhante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. May Triple Gem bless you all. You know, this is Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, the one and only path towards the Nibbana. Now we reach up to the bojjhaṅga, or the seven enlightenment factor section. That is the what is called bojjhaṅgapabbaṃ. Up to now, we have seven bojjhaṅga, you know. The first one is Sambojjhaṅga, or mindfulness enlightenment factor. The second one is the Dhamma Sambojjhaṅga. Vichaya means investigation. So you can say this is the investigation, Dhamma investigation enlightenment factor. And then Virya Sambojjhaṅga. Virya means the effort or the strive, or we can say that is the exertion, energy. So this is the Virya Sambojjhaṅga, so energy enlightenment factor or effort enlightenment factor. And then the fourth one is the Piti Sambojjhaṅga. Piti means, you know, joy. So joy, enlightenment factor of the joy. And fifth one is the Passaddhi Sambojjhaṅga. That is the Passaddhi means the tranquility. Tranquility in your mind as well as your mental body. What is mental body? That is the mental factor. So mental factor and mind, the tranquility of the mind and tranquility of the mental factor, that is what is called Passaddhi Sambojjhaṅga. And or the tranquility enlightenment factor. And the other, the sixth one is the Samādhisambojjhaṅga. That is the concentration. Samadhi, you know, that is the concentration. So concentration enlightenment factor. And finally, you have lastly Upekkhāsambojjhaṅga. Upekkhāsambojjhaṅga. Upekha is the equanimity, or we can say indifference. So equanimity enlightenment factor. So those are the seven enlightenment factor. Those seven enlightenment factor you should grow in your mind while practicing samatha meditation, or the tranquility meditation, serenity meditation, as well as while practicing vipassana meditation, you need to grow this 7 kind of enlightenment factor. Otherwise, you can reach to the Nibbana. So therefore, those are very important to grow in your mind. How to grow? I have told up to Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna. Now we have 2 remaining. Those are the Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ and Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ. We will see what is the what Buddha said in Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ in the desanā Pali. In left side you have that Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ in this way. Santaṃ vā ajjhataṃ Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ Athine ajjataṃ Samādhisambojjhaṅgoti pajana. This is the first one. Buddha mentioned this is the first one. What it means? Santaṃ vā ajjataṃ Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ. When the enlightenment factor of the concentration is present within him, Attime ajjatan Samādhisambojjhaṅgoti pajanati. Pajanati means understand. So he understands, or the meditator understands that the enlightenment factor of the concentration is present within me. That is the first thing. Because if the Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ, every bojjhaṅgaṃ, the same method Buddha follows. So therefore, you need to grow, whenever you need to grow this Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ or whatever the kind of bojjhaṅgaṃ, you must know that it is present within you. So, and then if the Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ is absent from you, you need to know that also. So the second one comes like that. Asantaṃ vā ajjataṃ Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ nathime ajjataṃ Samādhisambojjhaṅgoti pajanati. When the enlightenment factor of the concentration is absent within him, he understands that enlightenment factor of the concentration is absent from me. That's very important. Then yathacha anuppannassa samadhi sambojjhaṅgassa uppado hoti tancha pajanati. Yatha mean how here. Anuppannassa sambojjhaṅgassa mean that has not, that sambojjhaṅga concentration, the enlightenment factor of the concentration that has not yet arisen. So he understands, or the meditator understands, how the enlightenment factor of the concentration that has not yet arisen comes to arise. Uppado hoti means comes to arise. And that he understands. Tancha pajanati. And finally, you have yathacha uppannassa Samādhisambojjhaṅgassa bhavanaya paripuri hoti tancha pajanati. He understands, tancha pajanati means he understands how yatha, how the enlightenment factor of the concentration that has now arisen in his mind or in your mind is developed and perfect. Bhavanaya paripuri hoti is developed and perfected in his mind or in the meditator's mind. This is actually, you see, this is before the attainment of the path and fruition knowledge. So therefore, this is Lokiya Magga, or we can say that is the preliminary part of this meditation. Keep it in mind. This is the preliminary part of this meditation. So you need to grow this not only in the case of Maggaphala attainment, but you need to grow this in Samatha meditation as well as Vipassana meditation. For example, actually this 7 kind of enlightenment factor, while practicing jhana meditation, if you attain to the jhana concentration, definitely without having developed this 7 kind of enlightenment factor in your mind, you can reach up to the jhana. So everybody who develop jhana, they develop this 7 kind of enlightenment factor while practicing samatha meditation even. And when you practice when you are eligible to practice vipassana meditation, then the 7 kind of enlightenment factor also grow in your mind. So that means this is the preliminary part of this meditation. But when you attain to the Nibbana also, these 7 kind of enlightenment factor are fulfilled, maximally fulfilled in the Magga and Phala Jnana also. But before that, you need to grow in your mind while practicing Samatha and Vipassana meditation. But in the case of Suddha Vipassaka, he must practice directly, he must practice for element meditation up to its upachara concentration or the access concentration. But at that time, he doesn't develop while practicing samatha meditation. Samatha mean, for element meditation is a samatha meditation for the Sutta Vipassaka meditator. So for them, this 7 enlightenment factor initially in the samatha meditation not growing. But while practicing vipassana meditation, only they grow in the meditator's mind. That's very important. Keep it in mind. And now let's move to what Atthakatha says about the Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ. Again, I will tell you need to know this thing. Now you know. Actually, Buddha, after expounding tranquility, enlightenment factor, the Blessed One again teaches 6th enlightenment factor, that is the concentration. How to practice? This is the way. When the enlightenment factor of the concentration is present within meditator, he understands that the enlightenment factor of the concentration is present within me. And when the enlightenment factor of the concentration is absent with him, with the meditator understands that the enlightenment factor of the concentration is is absent from me. And he understands, the meditator understands how the enlightenment factor of the concentration that has not yet arisen comes to arise. And he understands how the enlightenment factor of the concentration that has now arisen is developed and perfected up to the Nibbana. So that's the 4th thing Buddha mentioned. And now let's move to our Atthakatha. It is starting from the Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ. Okay, that's the thing. Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ ati bhikkave samatha nimittaṃ abhyagga nimittaṃ tatta yoniso manasikara bahulikaro ayamaharo anuppannasava samadhisambojjhaṅgaṃ uppadaya uppannasava samadhisambojjhaṅgaṃ bhiyo bhavaya vepullaya bhavanaya paripurya samvattati ti evam uppado hoti. What is the meaning? Actually, Buddha mentioned this thing in the Ahara Sutta, or the sutta concerning the fuels to develop this 7 kind of enlightenment factors. Or we can say the ahara is the condition also, we can say. Fuels as well as condition, causes, or especially conditions. Buddha mentioned in Ahara Sutta, so therefore, in this way, monk, ati bhikkave samatha nimittaṃ abhyagga nimittaṃ. Buddha mentioned 2 kinds of signs. There exist 2 kinds of the monk or the bhikkhu. Bhikkhus, there are signs of calmness, signs of calm, and sign of distraction. Sign of non-distraction, abhyagga nimitta. Samatha nimitta means sign of calm, and sign of non-distraction. So samatha means, that is the calmness in your mind. If you develop samatha meditation, your mind is very calm, very still. So then the sign of stillness or sign of calmness. And other one is two kinds of nimitta. Abhyagga nimitta. Abhyagga mean, that is Vyagga mean the distraction. So Abhyagga mean non-distraction. So you have, therefore Buddha mentioned, because there are sign of calm or calmness and sign of non-distraction. Tatta yoniso manasikara bahulikaro ayamaharo anuppannasava samadhisambojjhaṅgassa uppadaya. Now Buddha says frequent wise attention to these two signs. What are the two signs? Sign of calmness, sign of non-distraction. Actually, both are the same. Sign of calm mean that is sign of calm. That means you develop calmness in your mind, and when you try to do the non-distraction in your mind, that is the abhyagga nimitta. So those two, if you maintain your wise attention frequently on those two kind of signs, so frequent wise attention is conducive to the arising of the unarisen enlightenment factor of the concentration, and uppannasava samadhisambojjhaṅgassa bhiyo bhavaya vepullaya bhavanaya paripurya samvartati. And the already arisen Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ, or the factor enlightenment factor of the concentration to increase, that means vepulla bhiyo bhavaya, and vepullaya expansion, bhavanaya that means development, and paripurya completion of it, completion of this concentration enlightenment factor when it has arisen. Again I will tell, Bhikkhu, Buddha mentioned in this Ahara Sutta, that's very important sutta, and we went this Ahara Sutta many times while I teach, while I am teaching in the path of purification, Visuddhimagga, as well as when I gave Dhamma talk to you about Papancha. I have told, I have gone through this sutta, very important sutta. So if you want to see again, this is in Ahara Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, right? Please see this sutta, very important sutta. So Buddha mentioned this sutta because there are sign of calmness and sign of non-distraction. Frequent wise attention to these two signs is conducive to a rising of the unarisen enlightenment factor of the concentration, and to increase expansion, development, and completion of it when it has arisen. So this is the way Buddha mentioned. So these two signs are therefore very important: samatha nimitta and abhyagga nimitta. Evan uppado hoti. In this way, there arises a concentration enlightenment factor in you while practicing samatha and vipassana meditation. Tatta samatova samatha nimittam avikkepanatena cha abhyagga nimittanti. Now, what is the samatha nimitta? Samatha nimitta means what is the sign of calmness is the mental calmness in your mind. Mental calmness in your mind, what is called samatha nimitta. That is the sign, mental calmness. And it is the sign of non-distraction by means of non-distraction of mind towards the object then. So therefore two kinds of nimitta basically you need to know. Now you know what is samatha nimitta and abhyagga nimitta. That's very important to grow in your mind, because samatha nimitta, keep it in mind, samatha nimitta is sign of calmness while you are practicing. For example, while you are practicing anapanasati meditation, if you can concentrate on the object of in breath, out breath, and touch point, so you time will come to you. You are very calm towards the in breath, out breath, and the touch point. But when you develop your meditation furthermore, you can see the light in front of you, initial light, preliminary concentration or preliminary sign. That is what's called parikammanimitta, preliminary sign. If you see the preliminary sign, and then you if you can understand this preliminary sign and the breath become unified, then your mind automatically goes automatically stick on that nimitta, I mean the preliminary sign. That when you focus further and further of this nimitta, it become very, this is subtle nimitta, and then it become very condensed nimitta, like a cotton wool. And if you can see the cotton wool nimitta, which is also light, and if you focus this nimitta, it become very bright and transparent, translucent, kind of sign. That is what's called Patibhaga nimitta, counterpart sign. So when you reach to the counterpart sign, your concentration is very calm, very calm. So this is the sign of calm. And again, if you enter into the jhana concentration, sign of calm is present. But to grow the sign of calm, you need to maintain your mind non-distraction level. In a Otherwise, that is the abhyagga nimitta, sign of non-distraction. If you that means two nimittas, abhyagga nimitta and the calmness, sign of the calmness, sign of the non-distraction is very important to grow up to the jhana concentration or even up to the upachara concentration. That is the, so therefore you need to maintain your wise attention on the sign of calmness as well as sign of non-distraction. That's very important. Then this Atakatha says in this way, Apicha, moreover, Ekadasa Dhamma Samādhisambojjhaṅgas Upadaya Samvattati. And now they say in this Dhamma talk, they say, furthermore, there are 11 things. Ekadasa Dhamma mean, Ekadasa mean 11 things that lead to a rising of concentration. So what is the concentration enlightenment factor? What is that? What are they? What are they? They are the Vattu Visada Kiryata. Actually, we come across this word Vattu. Vattu mean, your internal and external basis is what is called Vattu. Internal basis mean your body itself, physical body, and external basis mean your room or your house, and then the outer environment. So what to visada kiriyata mean? Visada mean you need to purify, you need to you need to clean up, you need to cleanse this your internal basis and the external basis. So purification of internal basis and external basis of oneself or the meditator, that is what is called Vattu Visada Kiryata. Indriya Samatta Patipadanata. Indriya Samatta mean Indriya, Indriya is the faculty, controlling faculty. You have controlling faculties. So controlling faculties mean 5 kinds of controlling faculties you have. What are they? Saddha, Sati, Virya, Samadhi, Panya. Those are the 5 kinds of controlling faculties. So 5 kind of controlling faculties mean Saddha mean, that is the faith or the confidence. And then Sati, mindfulness. And virya mean the energy or the effort, exertion, and concentration. And the other one is the panya, wisdom. So those five things you need to balance. You need to balance. Otherwise, you can't reach up to your goal. So therefore, the balance of the controlling faculties, what is called indriya samatha. Samatha means balance, get balanced. So indriya samatha patipadanata. Other one is third one, nimitta kusalata. Nimitta means your object of meditation. So if you have some skill in taking up the characteristic of the meditation object, that's good for you. Otherwise you can reach up to your goal. uh, so nimitta kusala mean this is the skill, right? Kusala mean many meaning. Kusala mean wholesome deeds also kusala. Now here it is not the way. Here it is the skillfulness. The other one is samaye chittassa paggannanata. Paggannana, what is the meaning of paggannana? Paggannana mean striving, getting exertion, getting effort. So that is the paggana, paggannana, pagganhana. So samaye chittasa paggannanata. That means striving the mind when it is necessary. Striving while practicing your meditation. If you wanna strive your mind, if you wanna exert your mind, then that is the pagghananata. That means striving the mind when it is necessary. And the other one, samaye chittassa nigghananata. Nigghanati mean uh, restrain, deliberately restrain. You need to deliberately restrain your mind. If your mind goes here and there, wander. So restraining the mind when it is necessary, you should do that. Then other one is samaye sampahansanata. Samaye chittasa sampahansanata. Actually, samaye sampahansanata. Sampahansana mean gladdening. uh, Gladdening, yeah. So then gladdening the mind when it is necessary. So for example, sometimes your mind become like dull mind you may have. So at that time you need to get the mind gladdened. So that's the meaning. Samaye ajjapekkanata. Ajjapekkanata mean equanimous. So making mind indifference or making the mind equanimous when it is necessary. So those kind of four things are in the Anuttara Siti Bhava Sutta. Anuttara Siti Bhava Sutta. Actually, we went to this suttas also, Anuttara Siti Bhava Sutta also, in while I'm giving Dhamma talk in the case of Visuddhimagga. So you may remember those things. Anyway, so therefore these things are very important. Striving the mind when it is necessary, restraining the mind when it is necessary, gladdening the mind when it is necessary, making the mind equanimous or indifference when it is necessary. So those kind of things are very, very important. Uh, the other one is some asamahita puggala vajjanata. Vajjanata means avoiding. So asamahita means if somebody has no concentration developed, so you need to avoid kind of person. So avoiding the person who are not developed in concentration. And samahita puggala sevanata. Association with the sevanata means association or getting together. Association with the person who are developing concentration. Other one is jhana vimukha pacchavekkanata. Jhana means the absorption concentration. Vimukha is the liberation. Pacchavekkanata means that is the reflecting on. So then reflecting on the jhana concentration and the liberation, right? So pacchavekkanata means even though if you did not attain liberation, but you need to still reflect on. So if you did not attain the jhana concentration still, but you need to reflect on, I need this jhana. Like that, that is not the greedy mindset. That is the good mindset. So you need to reflect. You need to reflect. If how nice I develop myself jhana concentration. Like that, you need to reflect. And then someday your wish will become success. And the other one is tadadimuttata, tang adimuttata. Tang mean your concentration enlightenment factor. Adimutta mean bending, or we can say inclination. So the inclination towards the development of the concentration enlightenment factor every time. So that is the tadadimuttata. Again, I will tell those kind of 11 things. The first one is purification of internal and external basis of the meditator. The other second one, the balance of the controlling faculties. The third one, skill in taking of the characteristic of the meditation object and striving the mind when it is necessary, restraining the mind when it is necessary, gladdening the mind when it is necessary, making mind indifference when it is necessary, avoiding the persons who are not develop concentration, association with the people who are developing concentration, reflecting on the jhana concentration and the liberation. And other one is the last one, the inclination towards the development of the enlightenment factor of the concentration frequently. So that is those are the things, 11 things you need to develop to maintain and to arise your concentration enlightenment factor. That other than other than to develop samatha nimitta and the abhyanga nimitta, that is the main thing. To develop samatha nimitta in your mind, to develop abhyanga nimitta in your mind. That means sign of calmness and sign of non-distraction. After that, you need to do those things. After that, those are the other kind of 11 thing. Main thing are to develop samatha nimitta and the abhyanga nimitta. Keep in mind. That's very important. Tatha vattu visada kiriyatacha indriya samatta patipadanatacha uttanayeneva veditabhva. So many times we come across this vattu visada kiriyata and indriya samatta patipadanata. I explained in good account previously, even in the other Sambojjhaṅgaṃ. So therefore, you need to keep in mind those kind of things. That means no need to go again and again. Nimitta kusalata nama kasina nimittasa uggahana kusalata. And what is the nimitta kusalata? I mean, a skill in taking up the meditation object is the skills in taking up and guarding the patibhaga nimitta of the patavikasana, so on. Not only patavikasana, right? Patavikasana, asubha dhyana, you have patibhaga nimitta. Even anapanasati meditation, you have nimitta, right? So one thing mentioned here, only patavikasana, kasina nimitta, kasina, only kasina meditation it has been given. But not only kasina patibhaga nimitta. If you develop your anapana nimitta, you need to you must have skills in taking up, and you have skills in gardening this patibhaga nimitta, guarding this patibhaga nimitta. So that is the nimitta kusalata. That is the explanation. Even in the case of lots of meditation, you have such kind of nimitta. So therefore, that is very important. If you go to our tika, you can see those things. Let's go to see the tika then. Maybe you scroll down, Mr. Pankaj. Okay, tika, and yeah, in the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna sutta, then Mahavagga. Yeah. . bojjhaṅgapabbaṃ. Yeah, maybe scroll down to the maybe 1/8 of the, yeah, scroll down much more, and you may find out, you can see nimitta kusalata. Maybe go scroll down, more, scroll down, more scroll down. More, if you can, more, scroll down. Yeah, and now maybe nimitta kusalata, like thing you need to find out. That is the, now maybe, yeah, okay, scroll down maybe. Tassa, okay, nimitta kusalata. Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ. No, okay, up, scroll up, maybe. Maybe scroll up. Okay, scroll up little bit. Oh, okay. Here. Yeah, nimitta kusalata. Yeah. Nimitta kusalata mean, what is the nimitta kusalata? Nama kasina nimittassa ugganhana kusalata. That means the taking up of the kasina nimitta. Kasina nimitta mean initially you need to take up the kasina object. I have mentioned those things in the, I have explained according to the Visuddhimagga how to make the kasina nimitta, and then you need to take the Uggaha nimitta as well as the Patibhaga nimitta. That's the meaning. Icheva Uttam Kasin nimittasaaticha nidassana mattan dattabban. Asubha nimittasapi yasakasachi Jahanupatti nimittasa Uggaha kosala nimitta kusalata evati. Not only Kasina nimitta, the other kind of Jahana also, when you produce the nimitta, that means, for example, here mention Asubha, loathsome meditation. If you develop the loathsome sign of the Uggaha nimitta and the Patibhaga nimitta, then that is also nimitta kusalata. So keep in mind that is that's the explanation, not only Kasina meditation. Now let's move to again to the Attakatha. Samaye chittassa pagannanata. Sorry, samaye chittassa, yeah, pagannanatati yasmin samaye ati sitila viriyatadi hi līnaṃ chittaṃ hoti tasmin samaye Dhammavicaya viriya pīti sambojjhaṅga samutthāpanena tassa paggannana. What is the meaning? Here, meaning in this way you need to understand striving the mind when it is necessary. Striving the mind when it is necessary. That means in this Ahara Sutta, Buddha mentioned in this thing. You need to know this thing. I will explain. This Dhammāvicaya or the investigation enlightenment factor, and Virya Sambojjhaṅga, effort enlightenment factor, and the Piti enlightenment factor, Piti Sambojjhaṅga, those three are in one group. And then the other three things, Passaddhi that means tranquility enlightenment factor, and the concentration enlightenment factor, and the Upekka or the equanimity enlightenment factor are in one group. These three in one group. The Dhammavicaya, Virya, and Piti Sambojjhaṅga is in one group. Those three in one group. And now Sati Sambojjhaṅga is remaining. Now you need to balance, right? You need to balance this these two group of Sambojjhaṅga who balance this sati or the mindfulness enlightenment factor will balance this thing. So in the case of if you do not have, if you do, then now virya is in the case of Dhammavicaya, virya and piti in one group, and the other group passaddhi, samadhi, and then upekha is in one group. That means, for example, passaddhi is very it has a very intimate, very close relationship to the concentration, and concentration is very close relation to the upekha. So therefore, those three are in one group. Here also these three things also having some intimate relationship. So therefore, these three mean this Dhammavicaya, Virya, and Piti Sambojjhaṅga are in one group. So now, for example, when the sluggishness of the mind occurs while practicing meditation, with too little effort, Ati sitile viryatadihi leanan chittang hoti. Leanan chitta means sluggishness of the mind when with too little effort towards the object of calmness and the toward the object of calmness and the insight meditation. Insight meditation, that mean you do not have a constant task, appamad. You do not have appamad or the constant task, and you have then too little wisdom. Then striving the mind means to apply the mind vigorously by arousing the enlightenment factor of the investigation of Dhamma and effort and joy. So now you can understand. For example, if you have sluggishness of the mind with too little effort, then what happened to you? But you need to develop your calmness in your mind. Calmness, as well as you need to develop your insight meditation. But you have no constant task and too little wisdom you have because of your too little virya. Therefore, actually, now what you want to do is you need to develop your virya sambojjhaṅga. You need to develop your Dhammavicaya sambojjhaṅga. That means investigation, enlightenment factor, and piti. Because without piti, you can't reach up to the jhana. In the first jhana, like thing, second jhana, like thing. Without piti, you can't reach, and your meditation will be boring. So therefore, if you have less virya, you need to grow your Dhammavicaya Sambojjhaṅga, Virya Sambojjhaṅga, as well as Piti Sambojjhaṅga. That's the meaning. And the other thing, Samaya Chittasa Paggannanata. What is the Samaya Chittasa Paggannanata mean? Yasmin samaye aradha viryatadihi uddatan chittang hoti. Tasmin samaye passaddhi samadhi upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ samuṭṭhāpanena tassa niggana. Samuṭṭhāpanena mean that is the arising, cause to arise. So what is the mean? So I will explain. Aradha viryatadihi uddatan chittang hoti. That means aradha viryatadi mean now what is the restraining of the mind refers to the virya. Now excessive energy. If you have excessive energy, uddata chitta means if you have excessive energy or excessively energetic, because of applying high energy, and Judgment by wisdom, elated joy, ecstasy. If you are applying kind of more energy or the effort towards the object, and then again, judgment by wisdom is now elated joy. You develop judgment by wisdom, elated joy. With the elated joy, then what happened? You will actually then you have excess virya and excess piti and excess wisdom, because excess wisdom means elated wisdom now. But in that case, if you develop more virya sambojjhaṅga, what will happen? Your meditation will fall down. And if you develop Dhammānupassanā, that means investigation, you investigate more and more in the empty object. So that means your meditation drop down. And now you have piti generated in your mind. If you develop more piti, then your meditation drop down. But at that time, Buddha said to you, please develop the opposite enlightenment factor. That is what is called tranquility enlightenment factor, concentration enlightenment factor, and the equanimity enlightenment factor. That's the meaning. So this is very important in that case. So keep it in mind and try to practice in this way. So therefore, I will tell again, restraining the mind refers to the checking of the mind that become excessively energetic because applying high energy, and judgment by wisdom, elated joy. At that time, you should develop enlightenment factor of the tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. That's the meaning. And samaye sampahansana tati samaye yasmin samaye chittang panyapayoga mandataya va upasama sukhanadi sukhanadhigamanena va upasama sukhanadhigamanena va nirasādhaṃ hoti tasmin same atta samvega vattu paccavekkane samvejeti. Samvejeti mean you need to develop what called sense of urgency, a spiritual sense of urgency you need to develop. What is that? To do the vipassana meditation. There is the speed to do the vipassana meditation. But if you are practicing still the samatha meditation, you must fulfill the samatha meditation. But don't go to the vipassana meditation. That is the samvega mean to go to the vipassana meditation. But if you are not eligible to practice vipassana meditation, then you need to wait. You need to wait mean you need to do your duty towards the samatha meditation. So, for example, here I will tell some example. Okay, actually here this sampahansana mean. Now we go to the sampahansana part. So therefore, sampahansana mean samvega janana vasena. Samvega janana vasena. Other one is pasada uppadana vasena sampahansana. Samvega janana mean that is the developing the spiritual urgency, sense of urgency. And the other one is pasada uppadana. Pasada uppadana mean you need to develop your pasada or the confidence towards the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha like thing. That is the pasada uppadana. In this way, you need to sampahansana, gladdening the mind. So how to do? It has mentioned in this way. Yasmin samaye chittang panyapayoga mandatayava upasama sukha anadhigamenava, right? Upasama sukha anadhigamenava nirasādhaṃ hoti. And now it says when needs gladdening the mind means to make the mind more interesting. that is the Samvejjeti, to make the mind more interesting with confidence, when it has become nirasadam hoti, it has become dissatisfied. It has your mind become dissatisfied either through weak application of wisdom, panya payoga mandataya, or non-attainment of the bliss of calmness of the passion, calm of the passion. So again I will tell in this way. You need to understand this. Actually, when needs the gladdening the mind means to make the mind more interesting, with confidence. When it has become dissatisfied either through weak application of the wisdom or non-attainment of the bliss of the calmness of passion. So those are the kind why your mind become dissatisfied, because you are not apply good wisdom, weak wisdom, and you still didn't attain the calmness of the bliss of the calm of the passion. So therefore it is nirasadang hoti. Nirasadang means you do not have any kind of satisfaction in the meditation. So now how you want to get rid of those things? Tasmin samaye atta samvega vattu pacchavekkana samvejeti. Now you want to reflect on you need to reflect on this how to make the mind more interest, or how to make mind more enliven up. How to make, you need to reflect on the atta samvega vattu. Atta samvega vattu mean the 8 reasons to arouse a sense of urgency. 8 reasons to arouse sense of urgency. What is called atta samvega vattu. Vattu mean here things, right? Atta mean 8, samvega vattu. Samvega mean to arouse sense of urgency. So what is that? Atta samvega vattuni nama jati, jara, vyadi, marana. So 4. Jati is the birth, and then jara is the aging, vyadi is the disease, and marana mean the death, and then chattari, jati, jara, vyadi, maranani, chattare, this is the 4th thing, and apaya dukkhaṃ panchamam, the 5th thing. The 5th thing is the suffering in 4 woeful states. Apaya dukkhaṃ panchamam, the 5th thing. Atite vattamulakaṃ dukkhaṃ, the 6th one. Atite vattamulaka dukkha, the suffering in the past round of rebirth. So you need to reflect. And the anagate vattamulaka dukkha, you need to reflect on the suffering related to the future round of rebirth. And other one is Pachupanni Ahara Pariyetti Mulakang Dukkang. In the case of this present life, this very present life, the suffering, you need to reflect on the suffering rooted in search for food in this present life. So all together you have 8 kind of thing to arouse the sense of urgency. I will tell again. Then the birth is one thing. Birth, old age, death, disease, 4th thing. And suffering in 4 woeful states, you need to reflect suffering in 4 woeful state, and the suffering in the past round of rebirth, and suffering in the future round of rebirth, and finally you have suffering, rooted in search for food in the present life. So those are the atta samvega vattu. So then samvega janana vasena. So therefore, this is what is called samvega janana vasena, by means of to arouse the sense of urgency. You need to reflect on to develop your concentration enlightenment factor. So that's the meaning. But that means whenever you do not have sense of urgency, then how to develop your sense of urgency, you need to reflect on those kind of 8 things, and then arouse the sense of urgency and practice meditation up to the jhana concentration and up to the vipassana knowledges. And the other one is you need to grow your mind pasada janana vasena. Pasada janana mean like develop gladdening the mind through the contemplation of the qualities of the triple gem. That is the pasada janana. So therefore it is said in this way. Ratanate gunanu saranena cha pasadan janeti ayam uchati same sampahansanata. So this same sampahansanata mean gladdening the mind when it is necessary. That mean you have to think of two kinds of thing. One is one thing is to arouse sense of urgency. The other one is to develop or to contemplate your qualities of the triple gem. So that is then your pasada or the pleasing mind towards the triple gem will be increased. So at that time also your mind become gladdened. That's the thing. So therefore, meditator develops gladdening the mind through the contemplation of the qualities of the triple gem. Ratanataya gunanu saranena cha prasadan janeti ayam uchati same sampahansanata. So that's the meaning. And then we will move to same ajupekkanata. What is the indifference when mind become when it is necessary, you need to make mind indifference or make mind equanimous. Same ajupekkanata nama yasmin same samma patipatting agamma alinang anuddatan anisara dasan anirasadang aramane samapavatang samata viti patipannan chittang hoti tadasa paggaha niggaha sampahansenesu na vyaparang apajjati sarativiya samapavattesu assesu. I will explain this thing. So in this way, you need to understand samaye ajupekkanata. That means watching the mind with indifference, watching the mind with equanimous, is the absence of excessive striving. Alina means absence of the excessive striving. Anuddatan, restraining, absence of excessive restraining. And anirasada. And asada mean, what is asada mean? Delight in, gladdening in. But anirasada mean you don't have any gladdening mind. So then excessive gladdening mind. So then so therefore the watching the mind with indifference means the absence of excessive striving, excessive restraining, excessive gladdening the mind. Actually, that is established in right way of practice. Samma patipatting agamma, right way of practice. Wrong way of practice, that's problematic, right? And then proceeds well balanced on the object. Aramane samapavattam, proceeds well balanced on the object. Right way of practice and proceed well balanced on the object. Samataviti patipannaṃ cittaṃ hoti. Aramane samappavattaṃ samataviti patipannaṃ mean same meaning. Same meaning, some well balanced. Samataviti patipanna mean also well balanced. Samapavatta mean also well balanced. So then I will tell Samay ajupekkanata mean watching the mind with indifference is the absence of excessive striving, excessive straining, restraining, and excessive gladdening of the mind. That is establishing right way of practice and proceed well balanced with the object. So that means you don't need to do any kind of engagement here at that time. Therefore, it says, Tadasa paggaha niggaha sampahansanesu na vyaparaṃ abhajati. Vyaparaṃ mean kind of engagement. So then, at that time, such a mind does not need to any kind of engagement towards the striving and towards the restraining and towards the gladdening. So no any kind of engagement. You don't need to do anything towards these kind of three things. That means exertion or the striving, restraining, and the gladdening. No need to do any kind of thing. So therefore, it is like it says Sarathiviya samapavastesu assesu. It is this watching of the mind is like being a charioteer, who looks on indifference when the horses are going well, not too speed and not too slow, and then they are well balanced, the horses. So therefore you don't need to do any kind of thing as a charioteer. So in this case also, so the ajju pekkanata mean watching the mind, right? Watching the mind in the with indifference. So this watching of the mind is like the balance the what called chariot with the good charioteer, because now charioteer do not have engage any kind of striving and restraining of the horses, and the other gladdening also no need to do. So, such kind of thing will happen when you develop your same ajupekkanata. That means you need to watch you need to watch the mind with indifference. That's the meaning. So if you watch the mind with the indifference, your Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ will grow in your mind. The other one is ayang bojjhati same ajupekkanatati. That is what is called watching the mind, watching of the mind with indifference. Asamahita puggala parivajjanatānaṃ upacāraṃ vā appanaṃ vā appatānaṃ vikkhitta cittānaṃ puggalānaṃ āraka parivajjanam. And what is the avoiding persons who are not concentrated minds means to keep remote away from person who have not reached up to the access concentration and the absorption concentration, so and are distracted in mindset. So those kind of person you need to avoid. And samahita puggala sevanata mean association with the people with upachara and appana concentration. So nama upacharena va appanaya va samahita cittaṃ sevana bhajana pairupasana. So then association with the person who are concentrated in minds mean the association, the peace person who have reached access concentration, absorption concentration. So that is the meaning. Tadati muttata. What is the tadati muttata? Nama tang adimuttata. I told tang mean regarding this Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ. Adimuttata mean inclination. So what is this inclination? Nama Thāna nisajjādisu samadhi uppadanatthaṃ yeva ninna pona pabbhara cittata. Now the inclination for the enlightenment factor of the concentration means the inclining ninna mean inclining, pona mean sloping, and pabbhara mean the bending of the mind towards the concentration. Pabbhara cittata. Evaṃ hi patipajyato esa uppajjati. So now if you actually meditate or practice in this way, then the enlightenment factor of the concentration arises in your mind. Evaṃ hi patipajyato esa uppajjati. Evaṃ uppannassa panassa arahat maggena bhavanaya paripuri hoti iti pajanati. The final one, Buddha mentioned, meditator understands how the already arisen enlightenment factor is developed and perfected in the meditated mind. So that is therefore they say in the Atthakatha, Buddha said, this is the Buddha's word, right? Evaṃ uppannassa panassa, that means in this way, if somebody grows this enlightenment factor of the concentration, and arahat maggena bhavana paripuri hoti iti pajanati, he understands that in the case of arahant path knowledge, this enlightenment factor comes to completion, bhavana paripuri comes to completion in the case of with the arahat path knowledge. So you need to know every kind of thing and then want to practice. In the case of arahant path knowledge, it will be fulfilled up to see the Nibbana. So that's the meaning. Therefore, we finish Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ also here. Then let's go to Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ. Again, the not Atthakatha, again we move to desanā Pāli. Desanā Pāli, it says, Santaṃ vā ajjataṃ upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ attime ajjataṃ upekkhāsambojjhaṅgoti pajanati. Now, actually, this is the seventh enlightenment factor, that is the equanimity. So, when the enlightenment factor of the equanimity is present within him, he understands that the enlightenment factor of the equanimity is present within me. And asantaṃ vā ajjataṃ upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ nattime ajjataṃ upekkhāsambojjhaṅgoti pajanati. And when the enlightenment factor of the equanimity is absent within him, he understands that the enlightenment factor of the equanimity is absent from me. Yathaja anupannassa upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa uppado hoti tacha pajanati. He understands, or the meditator understands, how the enlightenment factor of the equanimity that has not yet arisen comes to arise. And yathacha uppannassa upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa bhavanaya paripuri hoti tancha pajanati. And the meditator understands how the enlightenment factor of the equanimity that has now arisen is developed and perfected. A risen factor is developed and perfected. You should know kind of thing. So that's the meaning. Now let's move to the Atthakatha again. What Buddha says in the Ahara Sutta especially, to see. Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa in the Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa ati bhikkave Upekkhāsambojjhaṅga thānya Dhamma. Tattva yoniso manasikara bahulikaro ayamaharo anuppannasava Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa upādāya uppannasava Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa bihiyo bhavāya vepullāya bhavanāya paripurya sangattati iti evaṃ uppādo hoti. What is the meaning? Actually, about this equanimity enlightenment factor, the Blessed One has given a Dhamma talk in Ahara Sutta. This is also Ahara Sutta, Samyutta Nikāya. Buddha mentioned here because there are things that are conditions for the for the arising of enlightenment factor of the equanimity, that is the meaning. Atti bhikkave Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ Dhānya Dhamma. Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ Dhānya Dhamma means there are things that are conditions for the arising of this enlightenment factor of the equanimity. And Buddha said that again, Tatta yoniso manasikara bahulikaro ayamaharo anupannasava upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa uppadaya. So frequent wise attention to it is conducive to arising of unarisen enlightenment factor of the equanimity, and uppannasva upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa bhiyo bhavaya vepulaya bhavanaya paripurya samvattati iti evam uppado hoti. That means actually now frequent wise attention to this enlightenment, frequent wise attention to the conditions. There are conditions for the arising of enlightenment factor of the equanimity. Frequent wise attention to it is conducive to arising of unarisen enlightenment factor of the equanimity, and to increase expansion, development, and completion of it when it has arisen. When it has arisen means when this Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ arisen. So in this way, there arises enlightenment factor of the equanimity in you while practicing the samatha and samatha and vipassana meditation. Tatta Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ Dhānya Dhammānā. Now say Upekkhā. Here, in this case, Upekkhā itself, or the equanimity itself, is the condition for arising of this enlightenment factor, right? If you maintain your Upekkhā, then that is itself become the condition, right? Upekkhā is itself become condition to arise this enlightenment factor. That is the explanation. But actually, you need to know this thing. In both samatha and vipassana meditation, it's not good to have actually either excessive or insufficient effort. This effort is the most important factor to actually to develop this enlightenment factor. Excessive effort causes, restlessness. Usually excessive effort causes restlessness. And insufficient effort causes sluggishness of mind, laziness, or even causes mind to fall into the bhavanga. If you fall into the bhavanga, what will happen? Then you may sleep while sitting. So that's not good to attain the jhana and maggaphala. So therefore, excessive or insufficient effort is not good for you. So you need to balance those factors. Therefore, actually, when you practice with balanced effort, the enlightenment factor of the equanimity will arise definitely in your mind. So these keep your virya enlightenment factor in a good way, then upekka samadhi enlightenment factor also will grow up in your mind. So that's more important. Both samatha and vipassana meditation kind of thing, that means without having excessive energy, without having insufficient energy, if you can balance the effort, your enlightenment factor of the equanimity will grow up. That is the upekka. That means you need to make upekka. That's the meaning. That means if you do not have excessive energy, if you do not have insufficient energy, that means that is the upekka. That upekka itself is a condition to develop this enlightenment factor. So therefore it is says Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ Dhānya Dhamma. That means Equanimity itself is the condition for the arising of this enlightenment factor of the equanimity. So keep in mind, important fact Atthakatha says. And again, apicha, moreover, pancha dhamma upekkhāsambojjhaṅgassa upadāya samvattati. And then they say, furthermore, there are 5 things that lead to arising of this enlightenment factor of the equanimity. What are they? Satta majjhattata. Satta majjhattata. Satta majjhattata mean, what is the meaning? Being indifferent attitude towards the living beings. Being indifferent attitude towards the living being. Satta majjhattata. The other one is sankara majjhattata. You need to, every time you need to maintain equanimity. That's the meaning. Satta majjhattata mean being indifferent attitude towards the living being. Sankhara majjhattata. You know, sankhara mean formations. Formations that mean mentality and materiality formation. So being indifference attitude towards the formation. And satta sankara kelayana puggala parivajjanata. Satta sankara kelayana mean actually well attached, what is called kelayana, or we can say egotistical or well attached, more attached. So therefore, avoiding people who are more attached in regard to living beings, with regards to living being, if they are more attached, then you need to avoid kind of person. Satta sankara majjatta puggala sevanata. And the 4th one is the association or getting together persons who are impartial, indifferent with regards to the beings as well as to the formation. Satta sankara. Satta sankara majjata puggala sevanata. And the other one is tadadimuttata. Tang adimuttata. Tang means this enlightenment factor of the equanimity. So inclination is the adimuttata. So the inclination for the developing of enlightenment factor of the equanimity. Tadadimuttata. Every time. That means in every case, every position of you, the 4 postures and every kind of activity in you, you need to develop this equanimity enlightenment factor. So therefore, I will tell again, being, or we can say detached attitudes towards the living being. Other one is detached attitudes towards the formations, and avoiding people who are well attached with regards to the living being as well as to the material thing, and association with the people who are impartial, indifferent with regards to the living being as well as the material things. And finally, lastly, you have the inclination for developing the enlightenment factor of the equanimity. Those are the 5 kinds of things you need to develop. And now they are gonna explain little more. Tatta dvihakarehi satta majjattatam samuttapeti. Little more explaining, right? Tatta dvihakarehi satta majjattatam samuttapeti. What is the meaning? Samuttapeti tvang attano kammena agantva attano kammena gamisasi. Esopi attanova kammena agantva attanova kammena gamisasi. Tvang kankelayasiti evam kammasakata paccavekkanena. Okay. Now, how you want to avoid this satta majja? How you want to maintain this satta majjatata? That means detached attitude towards the living being. How you want to do this thing? Indifferent attitude towards the living being is now brought about by 2 ways. 2 ways mean, one is kammasakata paccavekkanena. The other one is Nissatta Pacchavekkhanena. Kammasakata Pacchavekkhanena means by reflecting on the living beings as the owners of their own karma or deeds. By reflecting on the living beings as the owners of their own karma. That is what is called Kammasakata Pacchavekkana. And the other one is Nissatta Pacchavekkana. The another word is Nissatta. Satta means, the beings. Nissatta means not being. So therefore, by reflecting on the ultimate sense, if you reflect on the ultimate sense as they are no longer the status of living beings like that, then that is the Nissatta Pacchavekkana. Nissatta. The Nissatta, then Satta Majjatatan, how to attain to the indifference attitude towards the living being. This is the way. Two kinds of things. So how you want to attain in this way? They explain that thing also. How Samuttapeti means how it arises. Twang Samuttapeti means how you make to arise those things. Right? Make to arise those things. Samuttapeti means that's the meaning. Twang attano kammena agantva attanova kammena gamissasi. Esopi attaneva kammena agantva attanova kammena gamisati twang kankelayasi. And reflecting on the beings as the owners of their own karma means you need to think in this way. You have been born because of your own deeds in the past and will depart from here according to your own karma. So in this way thinking, and he also means you need to think of you, right? You need to tell to you have been born because of your own deeds in the past and will depart from here with depart according to your own deeds, own karma. And the one who is the other, comparing the other, he also has been born because of his own karma, and in the that is in the past, and will depart from here according to his own karma. Like that, you need to think to comparing yourself as well as him. Now, Twang Kang Kelayasi. Kelayati means attach. Place also to play, to attach, to make ego. So those are the Kelayati. So to make ego also. Therefore, for what you are attached, for what you are egotistical, like that you need to think. That is the reflecting on the kamma sakata, one's own karma, right? Reflecting on the one's own karma. And other one is paramattato satto yeva natti so twang kankelayasiti evam nissatta pacchavekkhanena chati. Again, you need to think that in this way. In the case of ultimate sense, meditators should think in this way. Think of yourself. Ultimately, in the sense of ultimate truth, there is no beings. Paramattato satto yeva natti. And but only so satto yeva natti, but you have only in the mentality, materiality, and their causes, So those are the ultimate truth. So therefore, you need to again tell to yourself, so tam kanke layasi. Therefore, to whom you show the ego, right? To whom you show the ego, like that, you need to think in this way, and then that is the satta majjatata. That means detached attitude towards the living being. And other one is the Sankara Majjatatam. Dvihakarehi Dviheva Karehi Sankara Majjatatam Samuttapeti. And they say Samuttapeti means you need to make a rice, or you need to make arouse those kind of Sankara Majjatatam. Sankara Majjatatam means that is the being indifference towards the material thing. Material, actually here material thing, right? Material things. This is also two ways. Let's see. Here it says in this way: Idan chivarang anupubbena vanna vikara tancheva chinna jinna bhavancheva upagantva padapunjana cholakang hutva yattikotiya chaddaniyan bhavisati sachepanasa samiko bhavaya nasa evan vinassatun dadeyati evan asamika bhava pacca vekkanenacha anaddaniyang idang tavakalikanti evan tavakalika bhava pacca vekkanena chati. Okay, then that is also two things. One thing is by way of asamika bhava pacca vekkanena, by way of reflecting on the asamika mean that is the nobody in ownerless, right? Ownerlessness, asamika bhava. And the other one is tavakalika bhava. That means that is the tavakalika mean temporary, temporary. So temporariness. Sorry. Temporariness and then ownerlessness. In that way, you need to reflect. So how you need to reflect in this way? So by reflecting on the ownerlessness, you need to think in this way. As a monk, you need to think in this way: this robe will fade. And then as a lay devotee, you need to think in this way: this clothes will fade and will get old. Jinna bhava becomes a food cleaning rag, and after that it is only good to be taken up at the at the end of the stick. And yattikotiya chaddaniyang bhavisati. And that means in this way I will tell yattikotiya chaddaniyang bhavisati mean at the end of with the yattikotiya chaddaniyang bhavati, at the end of a stick and flung away. Chaddaniyang bhavisati. That means that when you when that clothes or the robes become very, very old, right? You can't use furthermore. So then somebody or yourself, you yourself, you can take up that robe or the cloth at the end of the stick and flung away. That's the meaning. So in that such kind of thing, you need to think. Sachepanasa samiko bhaveya nasa evam vinasitun dadeyati. Surely if there is owner for this robe or the clothes, he would not let it come to ruin in this way. Vinasiting means ruin. Not let it comes to ruin in this way. If you have a owner, if it has an honor, for example, this clothes has honor, right? Or this robe has a honor, that honor will not let to ruin in this way. That's the meaning. Very sorry. Evam asamika bhava pachavekkane nacha. This is the way of thinking with the ownerlessness. Ownerlessness. The other one is the Tavakalika Bhava. Tavakalika Bhava means that is the temporariness. How to deal with the temporariness in this way? Anadanyang idang Tavakalikanti. Anadanyang means you need to think in this way. This robe or this clothes, Tavakalikam, cannot last long. Anadanyam, its duration is very short. Like that, you need to, its duration is very short, and then it cannot last long. So in this way, if you think, that is the Tavakalika. Tavakalika, temporariness. So that means the what called the material thing. Regarding the material thing, you need to think in these two ways. One is ownerlessness, the other one is temporariness. And yathacha tichivare evam pattadi supi yojana katabbang. In actually these two kinds of reflection now those are applicable in a similar way to your bowl and the other kind of four requisites as a monk. But in the case of lay devotees, for example, your every the household items, so that you can apply. Okay, that is the Sankara Majjata. This explanation is very huge, so therefore I will go, otherwise we cannot finish. Other one is Satta Sankara Kelayana Pudgala Parivachanata. What is that? Satta Sankara, that means the people who are having attachment, right? Having attachment with regards to the beings and the material thing, you need to avoid, right? You need to avoid. In the case of lay devotees, first mentioned, etta yo puggalo gihiwa attano putta dītādike pabbajito attano antevāsika samanujjāyike mamayati. Mamayati means cherishes, right? To cherish is mamayati. Or to love someone very much. That is the meaning. So, etta yo puggalo gihiwa attano puttādike mamayati. Like that, you need to take the sentence. That means, in the case of lay devotees who cherish their own son and daughters, putta dītādike mamayati. And again, pabbajito va attano antevāsika samanupajjhāya kādike mamayati. And then in the case of recluses, they also cherish their resident student or pupils and friends, preceptors and like persons. They get cherished. Sahatte neva tesang, sorry, sahatte neva nesang kesa chedana suchikamma chivara dohovana prajana patta pachanadihi karoti, sorry. The recluses do everything for those whom they cherish, such as hair cutting and then sewing, to be washing, robe dyeing, ball lacquering, and so on thing. He does them. He does mean whoever who have more attachment, then they will he does to the others. So that is the mamayati, cherish. Again says in this, muhuntampi appasanto asuko samanero kuhin asuko daharo kuhinti banta migovia itochito oloketi. Even a very short time they do not see, they cherished do not see their cherished one, they look here and there like a Bhante Miguvia, like a bewildered deer in the forest. So in that way, he searched here and there, even if he didn't see a very short time. Anyena kesa chedana dinang attaya muhuntang asukang pesethati yachi manopi amhepi nang atano kammang na karoma tumhi tang gahitva kilamassatati na deti ayam satta kelayano nama. I will explain, right? I will explain. Then searching where is such that now how he search, how he get bewildered in this way. Where is such and such a novice, where is such and such a young bhikkhu, like that he want to search for the purpose of hair cutting and the like things. When another monk requested to give you such a novice or bhikkhu for a while like that, then he never gives someone to him saying in this way. We also do not order to do our duty to him. When you take him and you make him tired, because ordering so much of duties. So this is a kind of this is a kind of one with strong attachment. So cherished, mamayati. So such kind of person you need to avoid. So that is the meaning. Again, it has not. So that is the satta kelayana. Kelayana. Yopana chivara patta. I'm sorry. Yopana chivara patta thalaka katra yatti adini mama yati. Anyasa hattena paramasitum pina deti. Tavakalikang yachito mayampi idang mamayanta na paribunjama. Tumhakang king dasamati vadati. Ayam sankara kelayano nama. What is the sankara kelayana mean? Now attachments towards the material thing. The last one we explained attachment towards the living beings. Now, a person who is now egotistical or attached very much with regards to the things, right? Things, that is someone who cherishes robes, bowls and beakers, walking stick and the like thing, and he does not let another even to touch those things. When somebody asks to borrow some stuff, some article, temporary even, he would say in this way, even I do not use it, and because I'm cherishing on it, so how can I give it to you? Like that he asked. So that's the meaning. So this kind of person you should avoid. You should avoid. Therefore, yopana tesu dvisupi vattusu majjatto udasinu ayam satta sankara majjatto nama. Now a person who is indifferent or neutral regarding both beings and material thing is a person who is detached with regards to both, So getting together with such kind of person should be therefore considered much more. You should sort. You should seek those kind of person. Iti ayang Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ evarupang satta sankara kelayana puggalang araka parivejjan tassapi satta sankara majjatta puggalang sevantassapi thāna nisajjādi supi disu taduppadanatang ninna pona pabbara cittassapi uppajjati. Evam uppannasapana arahat maggena bhavanaya paripuri hoti iti pajanati. Now they say this way, Now, such kind of person, if you avoid remote the person who are very attached to the living beings as well as to the material thing, and if you associate with the person who is indifferent with the living beings and the material thing, and as well as Tahana Nisajjas the Supi Tadup Padanatan Ninnupura Pabara Chittasapi Upajati. An inclination for the development of the enlightenment factor is the inclining, sloping, bending of the mind towards the equanimity in all four postures. There arises enlightenment factor of the equanimity. And ultimately, Attakatha explained, Evam uppannassa panassa Arhat Maggena Bhavana Paripuri Hoti Pajanati. And then now he understands, the meditator understands in this way, cultivation of these factors, factor of the enlightenment factor of the Upekka comes to completion through the Arahant path knowledge. So he understands in such a way. So this is very important. So therefore, this is the way you need to develop your Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ. And then we just finished today because now you have 15 minutes and I will go through very quickly because we just come across those things in another sections also. So let's move to the desanā Pali again in the left side. Iti ajjataṃ vā dhammesu dhammānupassī virati, bahiddhā vā dhammesu dhammānupassī virati, ajjata bahiddhā vā dhammesu dhammānupassī virati. And actually now Blessed One gave next step. This is the next step. How it explained? Thus he abides contemplating Dhamma object as Dhamma object internally, or he abides contemplating Dhamma object as Dhamma object externally, or he abides contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects both internally and externally. And that's the meaning. And Samudaya Dhammānupassīvā Dhammesu Viharati, Vayadhammanupassīvā Dhammesu Viharati, Samudaya Vayadhammanupassīvā Dhammesu Viharati. And he abides contemplating arising phenomena in the Dhamma objects, and he abides contemplating vanishing phenomena in the Dhamma object. Or he abides contemplating both arising and vanishing phenomena of the Dhamma objects. And again, Ati Dhammativa Panasasati Paccapatita Hoti. And now, or a mindfulness that there are Dhamma objects. Mindfulness, understanding there are Dhamma objects is established in him. Dhammesu Paccapatita Hoti Yavadeva Jnanamattaya Patissati Mattaya. This establishment of mindfulness is just to extend necessary for bare knowledge and mindfulness only. That means no person's understanding, no being's understanding, only just establish mindfulness. And this is the bare knowledge, bare mindfulness. And he abides, therefore, independent. Anissitocha virati. He abides with independence. And nachakinchi loke upadiyati. Loke mean in this five aggregate world, here regarding Dhamma world. Now he doesn't cling to anything in the world. World mean in the five aggregate world. Evam piko bhikkhave bhikkhu Dhammesu Dhammānupassī viharati sattasu bojjhaṅgesu. Bhikkhu, this is the conclusion, right? This is how a bhikkhu abides contemplating Dhamma object as Dhamma object concerning seven enlightenment factors. So this is the explanation there. That is the we come across many times to this section. So therefore, we move to Attakatha. One paragraph only we have. So we will finish this paragraph in the Attakatha. Iti ajjatan vati evam attano va sattasambojjhange pariganhitva parasava. What is the meaning? Meditator abides contemplating Dhamma objects internally, so on things. Meaning, having discerned the enlightenment factor in the meditator or in the others. How you want to practice others' enlightenment factors? For example, while you practicing, actually this is related to the vipassana meditation. If you develop good vipassana as taught by the Buddha, always I told those things. If you come across with good true vipassana, then your seven enlightenment factor grows in you. And you know every enlightenment factor now grows in you, and then now you can discern your enlightenment factors. And if you finish discernment of your enlightenment factor, for example, enlightenment factor is in the javana mind moment. That means your mind or mental process, you need to, the meditation mind, you need to discern. Meditation mind movement, what is the mental process? Bhavanga, and then Manodara Vajjana, or the Mindo adverting consciousness, and then Seven Javana. And then you have again Bhavanga. Seven Javana, after that, usually no Tadaramana while practicing Vipassana. Only you have, sometimes you have Tadaramana, that means registration mind movement, only you have impulsion consciousness. So if you analyze this impulsion consciousness, you have 33 mental factors. In the 33 mental factors, all these seven enlightenment factors are there, and then you can discern kind of enlightenment factor one by one. And if you discern those enlightenment factor in your meditation mind, then you for example, you just generally spread your light of the vipassana light towards the outside, externally you spread your light to see the enlightenment factor of the outside, yeah, because outside you can see any beings or the persons. Your inside also you can see any being or the persons yourself. So therefore outside generally you can objectify. So then if you do this thing, others enlightenment factor will come to your light. Right? For example, if you advert Samādhisambojjhaṅgaṃ, or the mindfulness enlightenment factor, that comes to your light. Then you discern and try to do the vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta. In the same way, every kind of enlightenment factor of the seven, you can discern outside and then practice vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta. That is therefore Buddha mentioned, having discerned yourself, you need to discern the others, right? Parasa means the others. Kalena attano, kalena parasava, parasa sambojjhange parigahetva dhammesu dhammānupassanā virati. So therefore, sometimes in the meditator, sometimes in the others, you need to discern and practice vipassana. Samudaya vayapanetta, that Buddha mentioned, Samudaya Dhammānupassanā Dhammesu virati, vaya Dhammānupassanā Dhammena virati. What is this? Samudaya vayapanetta Sambojjhaṅgaṃ nibbatti nirodha vasena veditabba. And now arising and vanishing of enlightenment factor means presence of them and cessation of them. If you have enlightenment factor, that is the samudaya. If you do not have enlightenment factor, that means you don't have that cease. So therefore, that is the That is the cessation of them. So then they explain again, ito parang Guttanayameva. Actually, what is that? Rest of these facts are already mentioned as in previous sections. I explained those things very profoundly. Because this is the preliminary part of this way to realize Nibbana. Preliminary part, right? Preliminary part. The mindfulness, now it says, Kevalang hi ida bojjhanga pariggāhika sati dukkha sacchanti evaṃ yojanam katva bojjhanga pariggāhakas bhikkhuno niyānamukaṃ veditabbam. Actually, this is the preliminary part of this meditation, not the final part, but you need to develop preliminary part, then only you can go towards the final part of this meditation. So therefore, the mindfulness now, your mindfulness means your dukkha satchadam, because you develop your mindfulness. That dukkha satcha is related to your five aggregates. So therefore, this mindfulness that discern the enlightenment factor is the noble truth of suffering. It says, kevalang hi idam bojjhanga pariggāhika sati dukkha sacchanti evaṃ yojanam katva. And then all such all truth you need to talk and you need to develop. So for example, this is the mindfulness is the noble truth of suffering. The craving in the past life that leads to generate this mindfulness is the noble truth of cause of suffering, and the absence of both of these are the noble truth of cessation of suffering, nirodha satya, and the noble path which can penetrate the noble truth of suffering and uprooting the cause of suffering and objectifying the nibbana is the noble truth of path leading to the cessation of suffering. So those kind of things we actually explain in the section of anapana and the anapanas, then four kind of postures and crystal clear understanding of the phenomena section. Like that, we discuss those things very in very detail. So therefore, I'm not gonna go at right now. Finally, it says, in this way, bojjhanga pariggāhakas bhikkhuno niyānamukaṃ veditabbam. This is the doorway to realize Four Noble Truths of the meditator who practices seven enlightenment factors. So that is the thing in the Atthakatha says. So therefore, this bojjhanga is actually you need to grow, otherwise you can't attain nibbana. And today we can finish our Dhamma talk, and next day we will start our Four Noble Truths section of this Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. And today you can ask question maybe 5 to 10 minutes or 7 minutes you can ask question, Mr. Pankaj.
Yes, Bhante. Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Much gratitude again, Bhante, for the very detailed explanation. Please raise your hand if you have any question for Bhante. We will allow you to unmute yourself. Okay, Bhante, we have Milind and Vinaya. Please go ahead.
Oh,
Namo Buddhassa, Bhanteji.
Namo Buddhassa, Sukhi Hotu.
Thank you, Bhanteji. So very good Dhamma Desana, Bhanteji, once again.
Sadhu, sadhu.
It feels like, Buddha has gone into so much of details to help us understand the Dhamma. So, Bhanteji, quick question. When we are talking about these seven enlightenment factors, they are all Cetasikas. Is that right?
All Cetasikas, yes. This seven enlightenment factor is in your meditation mind.
Okay. So I'm just trying to map them. So the first one is mindfulness, which is sati.
Yes.
Then we have
Dhammavicaya.
Dhammavicaya. What is that, Bhanteji?
Dhammavicaya means investigation, enlightenment factor. That is the your panya. Panya, or we can say that is the wisdom, right?
Okay,
Panyendriya.
okay, gotcha. Okay, because that was the question. I was just trying to see whether it should we call it
Right.
manasikara, should we call it because Bhanteji, different words are used at different point of time, right? So just want to make sure that I'm writing it down. So Dhamma Vichara
Good.
is wisdom, Panya. Then we have Viraya, right? Yeah, energy. Then joy,
Energy.
Piti. Then we have
Passaddhi.
Passaddhi, right? Which is tranquility. Then we have Samadhi, which is one pointedness. Ekagata?
Yes, very good. Yeah, sure. Good job.
Okay.
1 point.
And the last one is Upekha, which is Tatra Majjata.
Yeah, that is the Tatramajjatata. Right? Tatramajjata, as well as Tatramajjatata, and which is related to the Upekha Vedana.
Vedana,
Right?
yeah. Upekha Vedana as well. Yep.
Vedana.
Yes,
Especially Upekha Vedana here.
Yes, Upekha Vedana. Okay. Okay, so we were able to map all of these. So Bhanteji, in your discourse, you mentioned that within jhana, right? When we talk about jhana factors, the 5 ones, right? With the vichar, piti, sukha, ekagata, you mentioned that if the jhana is strong, we can even these are also present.
Jhana,
right?
when the jhana is strong,
then these enlightenment factors also could be present.
Yes,
right?
yes, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Even though not jhana strong, when you attain to the jhana, when you attain to the jhana, there arise, before that, there arise this kind of 7 enlightenment factors.
Okay, but then we don't see them.
And this is not your duty in the samatha meditation, right? This is the duty in the vipassana meditation. So in the samatha meditation, you just discern the 5 jhana factors.
Okay. Okay, but they are there. They are present, right?
They are there. Otherwise, you can't enter into the jhana.
Understood. Because some point of time when the concentration really goes deep, one get a fun understanding.
That is your enlightenment factor of the concentration.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
When you penetrate your, for example, while practicing Anapanasati meditation, if you penetrate your counterpart sign, Patibhagnimitta, that is the Dhammavicaya investigation factor, that is that can penetrate your Patibhagnimitta. Right?
Understood. Yeah.
Right there. And if you have virya, only you can develop up to the jhana. Otherwise, if you are sluggish, you can't. No? So that is the virya sambojjhaṅgaṃ. And if you maintain good mindfulness, that is the mindfulness enlightenment factor. Right? And if you generate actually piti sambojjhaṅgaṃ, that is in the first and second jhana only, right? And that is the piti sambojjhaṅgaṃ. And if your tranquility mental factor, especially that is the tranquility of the mind and the tranquility of the mental body. So that is the that is the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna, like that. Yeah.
So Bhanteji, when we are calling these 7 factors as enlightenment factors, that means when we will be in the state of Maggaphala, that time these 7 will be present.
Yes. In the Maggaphala, for example, while practicing vipassana, before practice vipassana, what you want to do as a samathayanika meditator, I will always tell as a samathayanika meditator, because many people are samathayanika. So therefore, you need to practice jhana, and then you need to practice 4 element meditation, materiality meditation, mentality meditation, and their courses. That mean to attain to the cause relationship, discerning of the cause relationship, causal relationship, and then you want to practice sammasana jnana up to as anicca dukkha anatta. That is the real vipassana. So if you practice vipassana, this is the preliminary part of this meditation way to up to the what called anuloma jnana, the conformity knowledge, right? So up to anuloma jnana, also these kind of enlightenment factors are present in your mind.
Okay.
But therefore it is what is called worlding, still mundane, right? Because you didn't see the nibbana still. And if you cross that with the Gotrabhu jnana or the lineage, what called the
change of lineage.
Change of lineage, then then there arise Lokuttara or the supramundane enlightenment factors, because it sees the nibbana.
Yeah.
Your Magga sees the nibbana, Phalajnana sees the nibbana. Therefore, those are now become automatically supramundane. Right? So that's the way.
Okay. So Bhanteji, this is very helpful. Thank you so much. I have one more question. Pankaj, maybe if others have, then I can ask later. Do we see others as well?
No, Vinaya, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Bhanteji, one more question. This was more on your other discourses on Ikayanamaggo. So there, Bhanteji, when you're looking at the past lives, right? We're going backwards, and you explained us.
Yeah.
You also explained us the future lives, right?
Yeah.
So when Buddha was meditating, because it was his last life, right? So in the future life, he sees only one life, or he more of a, it's like a more of a theoretical, that if you do this, then there could be multiple paths, right? Depending upon what path you take. So what is it? Is it a more of a hypothetical understanding of,
No.
or do we see the real path?
Yeah. For example, Bodhisattva in the final life, that means he's definitely a Buddha, and he also want to complete this Samudaya Satya, no? Otherwise, without understanding this Samudaya Satya or the noble truth of cause of suffering, he cannot realize this causal relationship with this past life, present life, and the future lives. So, in that sense, he also he doesn't have any future life, right? Future life, but if he didn't attain, right? If he did up to that, he didn't attain, no, right? Up to that, he didn't attain any Magga Phala of the Arahant path knowledge. So at that time, he just take the life, right? He just, for example, he can be a Brahma, he can be a Deva, right? In such a way, you need to take one past life, future life.
Basically different combinations, right? I could be this, or means it's just more of an understanding that just like what I've seen in the past, this will continue to, or my question was, Bhanteji, did Buddha?
Yeah, I can understand your question. So then that means Buddha has no any kind of future life, right? But even
does he see that during that step? Does he see that, oh, my this is mine, I'm going to go into parinibbana, and this is my last life? At that point, does he see that?
No. At the moment, he didn't attain. No.
Yes, he has not.
Not, yeah.
So then it's more of a hypothetical. You're saying that that point, that he sees that different paths are possible.
Yes, maybe you are right, because it is a hypothetical mean. Actually, we can, for example, let's say one Arahant in this very life, he want to be Arahant, and his parami is fulfilled towards the Arahantship. And he also doesn't have any kind of life in the future.
Yeah.
So then he also but want to practice this Samudaya Satya, or the noble truth of cause of suffering. So at that time, he also takes some life, because at the while practicing this Samudaya Satya, he doesn't attain up to the Nibbana with the Arahant path knowledge. So he must take some life, because he has ability, no? Because maybe he has jhana, he can be a Brahma, or he has other kind of kusala, or the wholesome deeds he accumulated. So at that time also he can be a deva or human being, right? Kind of life he must take.
Understood.
Right?
Understood.
Because the other thing, without understanding our dukkha satya dhamma, or the phenomena related to the cause suffering, noble truth of suffering, and the phenomena related to the cause of cause of suffering, noble truth of the cause of suffering, you can't reach to the nibbana. Right? Yeah.
Okay. And Bhanteji, one more question coming back to our 7 enlightenment factors. Bhanteji, karuna, right, or say mudita, those are also very profound factors. Are they the resultant, or they are not considered in the 7? I was just wondering.
Okay. Here. So this 7 enlightenment factor, while practicing samatha meditation, it takes for example, let's say this is the anapanasati meditation, then it takes the patibhaga nimitta as the object.
Yeah.
Okay. Only one object. They all seven enlightenment factor can take one object. And while practicing vipassana, for example, you took dukkha satya dhamma to practice as anicca dukkha anatta, then your dukkha satya dhamma is the object for them, right? Yeah. And then if you take the samudaya satya dhamma, that is the object for them. If you see the nibbana, finally, what is the object? Nibbana is the object, right? But when you think about the karuna, what is the karuna? The object is different. For example, karuna is the thing you focus the suffering beings, right? Suffering being. But now here you are practicing vipassana with the dukkha satya dhamma or the samudaya satya dhamma. That means two different objects. Okay. In samatha meditation, all mental factors of the 7 enlightenment factor, all 7 enlightenment factor takes the samatha object.
Yes.
Right? What is the object? Patibhaga nimitta is the object.
Yes.
But in this case also, if you practice karuna meditation, what is the object? The suffering beings are the object. Okay, suffering one being or multiple beings are the object. So at that time also you can reach up to the jhana, right? Karuna, with the karuna also you can reach up to the jhana concentration. But while practicing anapanasati meditation, you want to focus your patibhaga nimitta. That is the different object, no? Right? Object wise different. So now therefore in the anapanasati meditation, karuna doesn't come. While practicing vipassana, your object is maybe dukkha satya dhamma, maybe samudaya satya dhamma. And if you don't focus any kind of dukkita sattva or the suffering beings like object. So can you understand now?
Bhanteji, I understood. Understood. My question is, then maybe I did not understand fully the first part of it. So remember you said that all these 7 factors are present up to conformity knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Sankhara Upekkhā,
but that is
right?
mundane then.
That's mundane. That's mundane,
Yeah.
right? And then change of lineage happens. So then these factors then go away, or they're still there in the after change?
Same factor change into the supramundane.
Oh, so are we saying in supramundane also these are present or not present?
Yes, present. Those
present.
7 kind of factors present in the case of supramundane states.
Understood.
It becomes supramundane then.
Okay, right? Okay. So Bhanteji, what I'm trying to understand is, the path to cultivating. So when we say panya, when we say nibbana, because it's a peaceful object, more of a positive object, we need karuna may not come.
No, not karuna, not come, because Nibbana is the object in the path knowledge.
Yeah.
And if the path knowledge goes to see the dukkita satta or the suffering beings, then the object is different. And the other thing is, when seeing the Nibbana, this is the supramundane object. And this can destroy every akusala in the Arahant path knowledge. If he sees the Arahant path knowledge, this can destroy every akusala. But karuna, that object cannot destroy any kind of akusala completely. Uprooting you cannot, right? But there are also difference. And then if you then if karuna comes to your mind in the while attaining to the nibbana or the supramundane status, then two different object mind cannot take two different objects. That's the thing, right? Right? Even mudita also. Yeah. So that is the two different object we can take at one mind, right?
But then, Bhanteji, when we say that we have attained to the nibbana, that means mudita and karuna is optional in that case. Then we should say, or we should have achieved them prior through the karuna meditation.
For example, while practicing meditation of the samatha and vipassana, you have karuna, you have mudita, right?
Yeah.
But you don't take as an object, right?
Understood.
Yeah, you have, but you have anyhow you can generate, no? Yeah, for example, if you let's say now you are you take the nibbana as an object with the sotapanna magga jnana, but didn't you have karuna in your mind? In your mind that mean karuna also comes to you, but not in the path knowledge or fruition knowledge, but you develop karuna separately, right?
So similarly, Bhanteji, if we go back to our jhana, right? And this was relevant to what Hital asked last session, I believe, that that piti is there in the first jhana, right? And then we drop it off.
Yes.
Basically, we say that, we want to go. So, and then ultimately, we go through the process of dropping the priti and then sukha, and then we ultimately go to the upekha.
Yes.
Right? So, and then in the seven enlightenment factors, then again, you want upekha as well as piti.
In the case of fourth jhana, you don't have then piti. But seven factor initially Buddha said to the first jhana, right? First jhana, if you do not grow these seven factors, then you can't attain to the first jhana. But when you go to the second jhana, you don't have Upekkhāsambojjhaṅgaṃ.
Yes.
Okay? Only 6. But basically you have 7, no? Total how many enlightenment factors? 7. So therefore Buddha mentioned maximum enlightenment factors.
The sukha and upekha are the same vedana, means if they are part of the vedana, they cannot coexist. Either sukha will exist or upekha will exist, right? So in the third jhana, when we have sukha, upekha is not there, right? Now we are dropping sukha to get upekha. So in that third jhana, when sukha is there, upekha is not there. We cannot say all 7 enlightenment factors are there.
Yes,
because upekha is not there.
Yeah, not there.
Yeah.
Like that you need to think, right?
Yeah, but then what I'm trying to say is, when the 7 enlightenment factors we are talking about, that time, so you're saying in the third jhana, in the second jhana, when piti is there, that time upekha is there, is it?
Yeah, piti is there, but upekha as a tatramanjatartha upekha is there, no?
Because I've achieved piti, okay, because I've achieved piti in the first jhana, and I know that now I want to achieve Upekha. Why should I drop it?
Here, that Upekha, drop it mean, Preeti drop it.
Yeah, Preeti dropping.
Yeah, Preeti drop it because you need calm jhana. Furthermore, because Preeti is a gross jhana factors, and therefore jhana wise it is very weak. So your mind expect more powerful and calm jhana. So that's why you drop it. Yeah.
And then it comes back again during the 7 factors, right? The Vipassana time. Okay.
Vipassana time. Yeah.
Sadhu, Bhante ji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Suki Hotu.
If you want to ask your question, please go ahead.
Vandami Bhante.
Suki Hotu.
Bhante, I just had a question on Virya factor. You mentioned that we could recollect the qualities of Buddha to energize your effort, to bring the effort into your meditation. Did that, am I correct, or would you like to add something to it?
Of course. Yeah, of course, because sometimes when it is necessary, you need to get mind gladdened. So how you want to get mind gladdened? 2 ways. The one way is to develop the atta samvega vatu, or to arouse your 8 kind of spiritual sense of urgency. So the other thing is to develop the confidence while contemplating the qualities of the Triple Gem. Good. That's the way. Right?
Sadhu Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. And if we can take one more, Bhante. Sheetal had a question here.
Okay, Dr. Sheetal.
Vandami Bhante. So Bhante, my question is on this Chetasika. We're talking about like all the 7 enlightenment factors are Chetasika. But as we can see that they act differently, as my understanding, like a Panchabala, Pancha Indriya. So some overlapping there. But when you said in Vipassana, when we are discerning all those Satta Bojjhaṅga, so can we see exactly when we discerning those Satta Bojjhaṅga factors, like how their function changes? Can we see that like in practice, Bhante?
Actually, when you see the Pancha Bala, Pancha Indriya, or the 5 faculties, and then this kind of 7 enlightenment factor. No? So, but at that time, this enlightenment factor, for example, now the quality wise, what is the Pancha Bala? Bala is the akampitattena balang. Akampitattena mean with non-shaking. With the power of non-shaking, it is Bala. And what is the faculties? It is the Adipati Attena faculty, or the Indriya. Adipati mean, the overwhelming. The power of overwhelming, by means of the power of overwhelming, it is called faculties. And then this is the bojjhaṅga mean, this is the Sambodhi, one Sambodhi, for example, especially to the Aradha Vipassaka, or the Vipassaka, or the meditator who reach up to the Udaya Jnana at least. That's what is called Aradha Vipassaka. So this Aradha Vipassaka also, they develop this kind of Sambodhi. Sambodhi mean, according to their parami, they have some goal. So to fulfill this goal, they are in the meditation mind, they develop this kind of enlightenment factors. So, but when you discern those things, only, for example, sati you have in the bala, also sati you have in the case of indriya also you have sati, and this enlightenment factor also you have sati. So then 3 kinds of sati mean quality wise they are different. and function-wise they are different only. But when you discern this thing as a bojjhanga, right? Then as a bojjhanga mean now we don't have in the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta also we don't have bala section like that, pancha bala section and then pancha indriya section. So kind of those things, then this bala bojjhanga is more important, right? So therefore, if you see the sati, then bojjhanga sati is very prominent to you. But bala bojjhanga, sorry, bala also it has, right? Then that means your meditation mind has bala also, and the indriya also. You meditation sati indriya, sati bala, everything are there, and now sati bojjhanga. But no need to get the difference because. Actually it is very difficult. Even for example, if it is bala, what the meaning, in what way it is bala? It is bala become akampitattena. That means in the case of non-shaking, if your sati is non-shaking, right, then it is bala. And if your sati is now to fulfill to the vipassana, right? To fulfill to the vipassana, and the sati is now become sambodhi. Your now your parami is near to fulfill. So then it become bojjhanga. Can understand? But it is very hard to differentiate at that time. But you just discern only, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Buddha only can.
Yeah.
Even you also can, you also guess that if you have non-shaking virya or non-shaking sati, non-shaking penetration of the object, that means the panya or the Dhamma Vijaya. So at that time, this may be more bending towards the bojjhanga side, right? Like that.
Yes. Bhante.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
Sadhu Bhante, I do not see any more questions, Bhante.
Okay, then let's stop today also, and then we will start our Satchapabba next time. Thank you all the listeners who listen good Dhamma talk according to the Buddha's teaching, and we accumulate merits, and we will share with everybody, every beings in this way. Idamme punyang asavakkaya hotu. Idamme punyang nibbanasa paccayo hotu. Mama punyang bahagang sabbe sattanam bhajemi. Te sabbe me samang punyang bahagang lamanto. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Sadhu.